Hey Pisces, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading, general reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't. If I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, check your other major placements. And over here on YouTube, we're doing a oracle reading only. So I'm just going to use my oracle cards. We're going to see what comes up. It's going to be a more intuitive reading. And if that storyline resonates with you and makes sense, you can go over to Vimeo for the extended with a more traditional tarot spread. I just missed my oracle cards. I hadn't worked with them for a while, and this was the best way I figured to organize the situation. So, all right, what do we have for Pisces? Last but not least. Okay, I don't want that. Okay. All right, let's see what we have here. Just Moonology. That's it. Full moon in Virgo, you are good enough. Worthy. You are good enough. So there's something that you maybe want to do and you're having a lot of doubts, maybe not feeling like you're prepared, maybe not feeling like you're ready, maybe like you're not feeling like you have what it takes or you have everything that you need here, but this is saying that you do. You are prepared. You are good enough. You don't need to scramble to become someone you're not, scramble to develop a skill set you don't actually have yet. You know, this is a sense not of, this isn't you are enough, so therefore stagnate right here. But this is like you have what it takes to keep learning. You have what it takes to keep growing. You have what it takes. We don't need to scramble or panic or feel like we're not good enough. We need to quick become somebody else. Who you are for where you're at is you're right where you need to be. You're still growing. That's not to say stagnate and stay stuck here. You're right where you need to be, so stay stuck here. No, as far as like path, this is like Candyland, right? You know, we're in the, you know, candy cane forest here, and that's where we're meant to be. We're not staying there forever. I heard someone say that, like, you're right where you're meant to be, like, keeps people stuck. Like, I had not conceptualized that ever, that someone would take that statement. And I didn't realize that people took that statement as like, stay right where you're at forever because you're right where you need to be. No, you're right where you need to be right now. If you stay here, you're going to be like, that's not what anybody's asking for. So you are good enough is what this is. You are good enough. You're right where you need to be, and you are up for this task. You can do this. You've got what it takes. And even if what it takes is just a willingness to learn and grow, that's still what it takes to thrive here and to be here. So you don't need to quick be somebody else. You don't wish you were someone else or wish you were further on your path or wish that you knew stuff. I mean, we all have these understandings when we should have our understandings of places that we want to continue growing in, but that doesn't mean where you're at is wrong and inadequate. You're enough. You're good enough. Hold your vision, fixed moon. There's work ahead for sure, and it could be very daunting. This is saying like you've got what it takes to climb this peak. You do have what it takes. Is it going to be hard? Yes. Are you going to continue building muscle as you climb this peak? Yes, but you're starting off with a pretty good baseline here, okay? So we don't need to panic and be like, oh man, I'm so not ready for this climb. You are ready for this climb. You're not, you know, at the end of the climb, you'll be more ready for the climb you just did than you are at the beginning of the climb, right? So we've got stuff to learn. We've got ways to grow. We've got things we're going to grow and develop, but we're starting off at base camp with the water, the food, and some basic muscle structure that's going to take us on this path. We're going to be very different at the end of it than we are at the beginning of it. That's a given. That's the journey. That's what we chose to do. That's the challenge we chose here. So we're going to be different at the end than we are at the beginning. But for a beginner, for where you're at right now, you're fine. You're doing fine. You got what you need. You got what you need. By the time you're done with this will look like child's play. Easy peasy. But you've got what you need. You've got what's required for base camp and to start this journey. So hold your vision. That also means there's going to be challenges. There's going to be difficulties. You may be feeling like you're not up to it. You're not adequate for it, but you are adequate for this journey. even though there are going to be difficulties. So don't let those difficulties sway you, right? Sometimes we get cards that are like, yeah, you go ahead and quit, or detach from this. This isn't your path. This is saying this is the path that you're meant to be on right now. And although it may look a little challenging and a little more than what you feel up to right now, you are going to be able to do this. You can finish this hike. You can get to this peak. You have what it takes. You still got to some growing to do, and you'll do that on the journey though. Expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. So there's not a lot to say about this one other than powerful change. And maybe the change is going to be between you at base camp and you at peak. Like, these are going to be two different people with two different physiologies, two different bodies. One's going to be much more acclimated to the thinner air and the, what's that called when you're up too high and you get sick. So, there is going to be powerful change. Is it going to be sudden and overnight? I don't think so. But keep your goal in mind. You can accomplish this, and you're going to be very different at the end of it. That's what I've been picking up. You're going to be very different at the end of it than you are at the beginning. That doesn't mean you're not where you need to be, though. We have this puppy here. What is going on here? Holding those in reserve. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, cool. Okay, we have like influence and community here. Your community is influencing you, and they can be an influence. Here we have bad influences, but they can be an influence for good or bad. So is your community, are the people you're going on this hike with, are they going to make fun of you, your scrawny muscles, how, oh, she's getting altitude sickness, boo-hoo? Are they here to tear you down and influence you that way and tell you that you can't do this, you're not capable of doing this? How is your community, how are the people that you're surrounding yourself influencing you? Are they the ones that can say, you know what, you can do this. You already have what it takes. I know that you can do this, yeah, oh, that sounds like you have a terrible day coming up, or a difficult challenge coming up, but I think you can do this. I'm going to be able to help you. So, or, you have what it takes, or whatever, having a community that supports you and lifts you up. For me, I know when I first experienced that, it was such a revelation of like, oh, wow, this is what it feels like to have the wind at your back a little bit and not have the people, around you being a headwind and telling you how inadequate you are and how stupid you are and how you make all sorts of, like, having a tailwind. Oh my goodness, this is different. We can do very different things with that kind of community support. So watch how your community is influencing you and being grateful for the people that are able to uplift you, and really questioning, what you want with if you want to continue, how much time you want to continue spending with people that may be discouraging you, telling you you're not good enough, telling you you can't do this, telling you, and sometimes it's very subtle. Sometimes it's not on the surface. You'll know because you'll feel tired around them and less inspired after you hang out with them. So that will be like a nice clue for, if these people are supportive or not supportive. Some people I hang out with and I leave feeling like I can do anything, I can accomplish anything. I'm fully capable, and other people I leave, I just feel tired and want to take a nap. And I'm just imagining it. I'm losing enthusiasm. Like, never mind. Let's just finish this. This is silly. So that's how you'll feel, though. So just imagining those interactions. Oof, yeah. So if you've got a mountain to climb. There's changes coming, and you've got a mountain to climb. And what's influencing you, and how are the people around you contributing to your sense that you can climb this mountain, or your sense that, what's the point? Let's just go. This reminds me of like a bike race I was in, and I had gone with some friends, which is unusual for me. I usually like to do that kind of stuff alone. I'd gone with some friends, And after the first leg, they literally said, you know what, let's just, it was in this like cute little community, and they're like, let's just go shopping downtown. I'm done. I mean, I rode my bike for this long and that's fine. And I was shocked because I wanted to do the whole thing. I was super excited about it. I ended up having some like peak spiritual experience much later on in the situation where just the world disappeared. It was just me and my energy. It was so cool. But, you know, and I was able to rendezvous with them later, but I was really surprised, like, you know, this is my community, and they weren't being mutually supportive over completing this thing. They just wanted to quit and go do something. You know, this was stupid, and I had to really, I don't think this is stupid. Come back and get me. I'm not a big shopper, so I mean, that's just not my thing. So I came here for this. I want to do this. So that's a little bit of like holding that vision. Your community may want to crop out, may want to leave, may quit, may want to go shopping in the cute little town nearby. They may want to do that, but you can finish this, and you're being asked to finish this, no matter what other people around you are doing, no matter what they want to do and what their plan is and what their goals are. You can finish this. Is this the harder thing? Probably. Although honestly, shopping for knickknacks would have been much harder to me than continuing on this bike race in 98 degrees. Like, that would have been miserable for me. So, but that was great for them. That's what they wanted. So your community may inadvertently influence you, but being aware of that influence and understanding that other people may not be on this path with you. This may be something that just you're being called to do, and they're having other goals and other ideas, and not letting that sway you. You're being asked to hold your vision, even in the face of being invited to go knick-knack shopping and get some mimosas. Even in the face of that. So there's a community influence here. I mean, luckily I had this whole other community of people that were completing the bike race and were, you know, supporting each other in that. I don't know if it was a race so much as I don't know what you call it anymore, but anyway, we have grief. There's maybe some sadness, especially if you have to let go of a sense of closeness to some people, right? This is like a bi-weekly reading, so it's not necessarily like, you know, in a general reading. So it's not necessarily like you're going to have to get a whole new group in your life, but you may have to separate for a while from some people or go independently, right? Like, I met up with these people back in the village like later, and it was fine. But, you know, it was kind of sad. I was kind of like, I kind of wanted to do this with my friends, but and that could be more minor than what you're dealing with here. So we have this grief, we have this community actually pausing to allow you to mourn something and to let go of something. This could be grief about having lost past opportunities due to low self-esteem. Also, this could be grief. There is a sense of letting something rest and giving yourself a moment. So even though we're holding your vision, you are going to continue on, but this might be a moment where you are overcome with emotions, you are overcome with feelings, and you need to take a pause from this overall growth, from this overall vision here, and just kind of process something and allow something to be part of your past and not necessarily bringing it forward into the future. So there is some sort of sadness here. You may be grieving a lost community, you know, as you go on your own independent vision. You may be grieving. This may, you know, actually just be a moment where there needs to be a pause to, you know, I'm seeing on this hike, like, if we're going up to Mount Everest, there may be like places, markers where people have passed or something like that, where it's not necessarily that we're not heading on to our goal or we've lost the vision, just because we stop there and honor that and honor those losses and honor those people's lives, and all of that. Like, it's not necessarily that okay, now, well, we stopped, so now we have to just go back down. This is part of the path. This is on the path. But I am sensing a sense of a pause here. That's not necessarily any indication that you shouldn't be going on and you shouldn't be proceeding with this. It's actually part of the path, part of this journey that you're on. So taking a moment to grieve some kind of loss here. You may have community support, you may not have community support as you do this. Your community may want to leave you behind and keep going. This could be a very independent activity on your path, on your trip, right? Because even if we're all going for a hike together or a bike thing together, even if we're all doing that together, we're also all doing that individually. Unless someone's getting a piggyback ride or is on a tandem bike, we're on our individual bikes, maybe moving together, but we're on our individual bikes. And each person's going to have to take their potty breaks and their water breaks as they need, and their, sweat breaks, and take a breather as they need. So you may need to take a breather on this path, on this journey, and your community may either pressure you to go on and like, no, you don't have to stop for water, keep going. Or they may, pressure you to influence you to, well, if you stop for water, you might as well just stop the whole thing, right? So it's just a pause here. Then we have scavenge came out as well, of looking for something good out of maybe a difficult situation, finding what you need in a way, in an area that's maybe already looks used up. Going back over some sort of past thing and finding some sort of useful nugget, useful fuel to move forward on this, on this difficult hike, on this difficult journey. That there may be something from your past that's actually very useful for you here. So a resource, tapping into a resource that you didn't realize you had, or that you thought you'd used up or you'd thrown out. Tapping into some sort of resource that looks like it's already been tapped, but there's actually might be something important for you back there. And then we have emotions are running high, supermoon. So emotion, it's a pretty basic card, but it is like emotions are running high, supermoon. Something's really obvious. Something's very clear and very obvious to you. It might only be obvious and clear to you, and you're meant to trust that and stick with that. What seems clear to you is like, if you're good enough and your perspective is good enough and your version of what's important and what's clear and how you feel, that's all equal to everybody else here. Like, no one else can tell you how to feel, how not to feel, what's important, what's not important. That's all you're in touch with your own, with who you are, with what's important to you, what your real feelings and emotions are. And maybe other people are trying to influence you and trying to tell you that what you're feeling isn't real or isn't important or whatever. And this is to say, it is real, it is important. And you need to keep going. You have a clear vision and you need to keep going in that direction. Pauses are pauses. They're not stoppages. So, all right. I hope that was helpful for you. If you want more of this story, join me over on Vimeo. If not, I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.